All right, all right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. All right, we got some
Hello.
people coming in. Can you guys see me and hear me just fine?
Yeah, all good.
Yeah.
Ah, perfect, perfect. All right, all right. I see you guys in Armo, Lucas. See you guys and hear you guys just fine. How are things?
Good.
Good.
Less sunny than where you are, but
Sorry?
less sunny than where you are, but still good.
Oh no, it's been raining here. It's actually crazy. Here, let me, if I
It just
can,
looks sunny.
let me show you a bit. I don't have my microphone with me, so I apologize if the sound is a little bit bad. But you see, it's quite gray back there. I'm gonna move my head out of the way. So
Yeah, I saw your Instagram story last night. It
yeah.
seems like you guys were gonna drown at some point if it keeps raining.
Well, it did feel like a hurricane was headed this way. But hope the sound is okay. I'm using the mic on my laptop itself, so apologize
It's
for
good
that.
on my end.
Sorry?
Oh, that sounds good.
Sounds
Yeah.
all right?
To me, you sound good. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Perfect, perfect. All right, all right. How are you guys? How's everyone in the room? We got 122 people in this room right now and counting. I see Hemant, David, Divan, Rohit, Sheetal, Ayan, Graham. Welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome. All right, so today is the private ITP webinar, and this is for all of you guys who have finished at least stage 1, okay? So how many of you guys have gone through stage 1 and have understood everything? Okay. Hi, Even. Okay, a lot of you guys saying, yeah, finished. Perfect, perfect. Okay, some people saying kind of. All right, so let me ask you guys here on the panel, what kind of questions have you guys been encountering, either in the elite community around it or inside the support when it's coming in through emails? What kind of questions are coming in, would you say, that some of the students are having trouble with?
One common question that I often get is just going into the set 1, set 2 concept, and how you distinguish exactly when that set 1 is complete, and then it's a set 2, and so you can start gauging the momentum that way. So that's one of the most common questions as far as the pullbacks go, distinguishing between the two and how to recognize that set 2 coming in.
Okay. Okay. All right. We'll discuss that then, the set 1, set 2s. All right.
Yeah. What I see quite a bit is people wondering about eclipse trades. So when to look for eclipse trades and when to not look for eclipse trades, because sometimes I feel, once you know about this concept, you're always going to be looking for it.
And let's actually talk about that. Why is that? Why is an eclipse trade so sought out for?
Because it has the potential of higher risk to reward.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So obviously,
Word is potential.
It's a double-edged sword. When I introduced it, I was in my mind, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be doing benefit for these guys or harm, but it's a skill set that I want to let you guys know about it. And then hopefully you guys can develop your discipline high enough that it can become useful to you, because it's a very, very powerful thing to use. Okay. Okay. What other questions do we have?
I'm just looking at the comments right now, and someone said Ian looks like Chris Pratt.
Oh, Chris Pratt?
Yeah, another question. I just got this today. Was someone actually trying to merge the knowledge that they have learned from MPA 2 and what they're learning from the stage 1? So basically, how to distinguish or use cheese with anticipation trade, that kind of thing. So they might mix them up a little bit when they're trading, or they might be trying to do the same thing in one single trade. The difficulty in trying to distinguish them, I think.
Okay, so basically, cheese anticipation.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. We'll get into that. We'll get into that as well. Okay. What about a lot of you guys who are in this room? If you guys can type out some of your questions, I'll look at those as well. Armo, did you have anything else that you noticed from the students?
I was just laughing. Somebody said I look like the God of War. I don't know what the God of War looks like. I'm not sure it's a good thing.
I believe it's a PlayStation game.
I'll be Googling it afterwards. And I see Kwan was asking whether we can see his typing. Yeah, we can see what you're typing. So I don't know if you made you typed in a question before, Kwan, but if you can repeat it.
Okay. All right, so Martin's asking about volumes as well. We'll talk about volumes towards the end. We'll give a little intro into volume because I believe all these people who are coming to this webinar today, guys, are they all into volume already?
They have all started at the very least.
They have all started volume. Okay, so we'll touch base a little bit on that. And what I'm gonna do is, since you're now going away from cheese trading, and you still have that knowledge, but you're stepping into the anticipation market, I'm gonna also show you a trade I did today, and that will give you that additional boost of, okay, I think I know what I need to look for now. Okay, how many of you guys in this room are actually in the elite? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, trials, some trials are in there. Okay, but by the way, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, all of you guys in this room, if you haven't already taken the Elite Community Trial, you guys can take that trial. You guys should be eligible. If you do not know if you're eligible or how to do it, you can always email us at info@urbanforex.com, but it should be on the last video in stage 1. Armo, do you have the name of the title?
It's week 4 in stage 2.
Week 4 in stage 2. Oh, okay.
I believe the lesson's called "The Money is in the Details," but let me quickly confirm that.
Okay, so it's in that place. This is where they can automatically apply for the trial, or do they need to reach out to you guys?
No, below the first video, there's a video of Naveen, you explaining how the trial works.
Okay.
Right below that video, you can fill out your email address and you'll receive further information on how to go about it.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So if you're eligible for the trial, you'll be able to do it. Now, the eligibility is not based on, oh, is it because I'm not white, or it's not like that. The eligibility is based on how far you've reached into the course. So if you're getting denied for now, it's just you haven't got further into the knowledge base. Because if you get into the elite community without a prerequisite, a little bit of knowledge, you're going to be very lost in the elite community, and it will be a month of trial that's going to be wasted. Okay, so we're making sure that you only come into the elite community after a smaller size of knowledge base, a minimum requirement of knowledge base. Okay.
Oh, yeah, we've recently opened it up. I know some of you guys have been emailing about it. We've recently opened it up. We didn't tell anyone, and yeah, basically this is the announcement. It's now open if you have reached far enough into it.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Devin, you're saying, can you read my text? Absolutely, I can read your text. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about anticipation today. Going from stage 1, we'll touch base a little bit on volumes as well. It'll make more sense as you get through the volume course. I don't want to talk about it now because it's more structured and layered in the course itself, rather than me giving you an overview and then you're not having all the individual pieces to be perfect with it. So it'll make more sense with that thing. So yes, this whole thing is recorded. All of you guys who have registered or are attending, only you will be getting this webinar. So it is only for you guys. Okay. And anything else I need to cover?
Maybe trend pullback failures?
Yeah, I was just going to say we get some trend pullback failure questions.
Trend pullback failure? Okay, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about it. The trade I did today is a trend pullback failure style. So I'll discuss that as well.
Awesome.
Now, the final thing, tomorrow we're releasing episode 3 about on Raju. So I don't know if you guys have been following along that episode on YouTube, but tomorrow at 8 a.m. New York City time, we're going to be doing the live premiere of it. So, sorry?
Right now, tomorrow.
Basically at this time tomorrow. So 24 hours from now, it's going to be live. You guys can all come. We can all attend it. And basically, I haven't even shown my team that video. So it's going to be released for the very first time to everyone to watch it with. Okay, so it'll be nice to come and attend live and watch it. So if you guys can, that's tomorrow at 8 a.m. New York City time. This time tomorrow, basically. Try to come there 10 minutes before if you can. All right, cool. So let's get started. Any final messages from the panelists? Anything you guys want to throw in?
Yeah, just wondering how's Raju doing recently.
Raju is on the beach. I left him on the beach, and I had to come to this ITP webinar, so I left him out there. It's probably gonna rain.
I hope you locked the door.
All right, cool. Okay, let's get started. There we go.
Right.
So thank you guys. Thank you. I'll take over from here.
Yep.
Okay, let me get my screens up and running. Okay. All right. Okay, give me a second here. Just getting everything prepared for you guys so you guys can see everything. All right. And my charts as well. Okay, so the first things we're gonna do before I go into talking about the trade I've done today, we're gonna walk through on the whiteboard a little bit to discuss what have you understood, what have you not understood. So think of it as the early 10 minutes we're gonna be quizzing you guys to find out what's your knowledge base so far with it, and do I notice some holes in the education where I can help you fill out. Okay, so I'm gonna do that first. So let's start with that. Okay. All right. So there we go. I'm going to draw a circle. Let me know when you guys can see the circle. And let me get the chat out of the way. Okay, the chat's here on the side as well so I can see it. Perfect. Yeah, okay, circle is good. Okay, so let's talk about the concepts of set one, set two. Set one, set two. What a set one, set two actually is, if I was to sum it up in a very quick way for you to understand, is this movement like that, what we call set one, set two, is a higher time frames pullback into a couple of pushes up, like as if the higher time frame is preparing its digestion process. So far, so good? In a nutshell, that's basically what it's saying. And the reason why we are seeking out these type of designs is because once that movement starts to get going, it becomes the very first move to start fast. The initial push that's going to be fast. And then after that, slows down, and so on and so forth. Okay, so here's a quick question. Why does it slow down afterwards? Okay, why does it slow down afterwards? Okay, saying accumulations, big boys cashing out. There you go. Yeah, cashing out. So whoever is in up here, even if you were in from up there, wouldn't you say, I should be careful of this area, or I should be careful of that area, or I should be careful of that area? Or are you just going to hold on for dear life and saying, you know what, this thing is going to go so far down, we're going to say hello to the devil, and then that's when we're going to close the trade. Right? There has to be some logic to it, right? So just like that, everybody is looking at the same logic of saying, let's remove some money here at least. Let's remove some money there. That removal of money slows it down. When things slows down, at every removal of money, the reactions get stronger. When the reactions get stronger, buyers look at it saying, oh, maybe it's going to go buying from here. So there are less sellers involved and more buyers coming in. Hence the slowdown. Make sense? So the story part, when the story switches over from top and it turns around, that is the ideal time when, if I give you a meter like this, and I say on the left side of the meter is sellers, and on the right side of the meter is buyers. At any one given point of the time, the meter is generally between here and here. Our goal is to get the meter more in the 75% this way or 75% this way, and then start our trade. Does that make sense? So now we're going to answer that question of, well, how do we do that? How do we get the meter of where is the public buying and selling to do that? Do I need to call up the banks and be like, listen, man, I want you to print out all the transactions for the last 10 years and send it to me, and I'm going to look through it one by one? No, obviously that's not necessary. You can do that. It will help, but that's not necessary. Okay. And it's a lot of hard work to do it like that. So here's what we're going to do. And I'm going to show you in terms of story based. I want you to follow along, because at the end of this entire thing, the set one, set two is pattern. And being together with Urban Forex all these years, whether it's your first year being with us or being with us 2 years or 3 years or 4 years, what is the number one thing that you always hear me say about patterns? Okay. Yeah. It's just a pattern. Don't look for a pattern. It's just a design. Exactly. So patterns are useful only in the right context. Without that context, that underlying reason, a pattern will not work. So far, so good. Does that mean patterns never work? Good. So we do know patterns do work, but then it doesn't always work. So what we're trying to figure out is, so when do I use it? When do I not use it? Answering that question well is going to make you a better trader. So far, so good? Makes sense so far? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through a story base. Okay. I'm going to walk you through a story base. And when I say story base, I'm not talking about there was once a little girl who got into a house full of 3 bears and a mama bear, papa bear. No, not that story. Okay, this is we're gonna talk about trading. Okay, so when I say story based, you want to look at the story from the angle of buyers and the angle of sellers. Okay, you're gonna look at it unbiased both ways. Now, if you look at it unbiased both ways, what's going to happen is you won't be stuck in a certain bias, like my pattern here, that means sell, right? My pattern here, that means buy. You won't get stuck in that. You want to identify both pieces to say, okay. I see what's happening. I see what's happening. So shall we discuss that now? Shall we now draw it out, and you guys are going to help me do this? First, I'm going to tell you how the story works. Okay, so you haven't gone through this part of the education yet in your ITP, but I'm giving it to you right now. So as you go through each lesson, you're gonna be like, I see what he's doing there. I see what he's doing there. I see why he wants us to focus on this particular pattern. And I see when I cannot use this pattern. Okay, so I'm gonna walk you through this. So let's start with this. So let's say the markets were hanging around for a while, and then it goes boom. It just drops, okay? It drops really, really hard. A news event or something came out and everybody just, gets up from their chair and they're like, I need to sell the house, sell the car, sell the grandma, sell Raju. I need to sell this thing. I need capital to sell this. Unfortunately, selling down low is very late. And you guys know that. If you guys don't know that by now, you're in trouble by me, okay? I'm going to show up at your house and I'm going to take a ruler and smack your hand. So you should know this by now, to never chase, correct? So now the question is, when the market moves like that, our objective is, can I join this? But can I join it safely? Objective number 2, if I join this from a safer price, will it go down? That's a big question to ask, right? Isn't that a main question? It's like, okay, I know what a pullback is, you know, it just means come up. But the question is, but should I be entering it to go back down? Will it go back down? Should it go back down? Why will it go back down? This needs to revolve in your head at all times. So I'm going to teach you how to do this in a technical way rather than a fundamental way. Okay? Because the fundamental way, by the time you see all this stuff, your fundamental will be involved in it at one point or the other. So far, so good? Let me know if how I'm explaining, if the English or something doesn't make sense. I can explain it in a different way or anything like that. Okay? So, you know, it's a private webinar for you guys. You know, feel free to ask any questions and stop me if you need any help. All right, here we go. Now, here we go. So markets drop really, really aggressively. Now let's now think of this in terms of sellers. Okay, in terms of sellers, we're gonna go very, very slowly from this. Okay, Mo Yeg, you're saying, can I ask a question? Absolutely. If you have a question based on what I'm explaining right now, go ahead and ask it. I will notice it. If it's a question that is not relevant to this, I'll have to, you know, bypass it and maybe come to it later on. Okay. All right. So here we go. So the markets move all the way down, and we're going to look at it purely from the seller's perspective right now. Do you think whoever sold in here, okay, the people who know, right? Not the chasers down here. The people who know, who sold from up there, how do you think they're mentally right now? How do you think they feel? Good, right? They're making some money, right? They're selling, they're feeling good. We're not talking about big boys who are bleeding. We're talking about just very, very high level of professional traders. Okay, professional traders who have gotten, they're making money. Now, Sam, very, very good point there. They want to exit. So let's say there is a resistance support here. Would you think they would like to cash out a little bit? Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I want you to watch closely at what I'm going to do. Let's say they cash out a little bit, and then you see this. Can you tell me what kind of cashing out did they do? That's a lot. That's a lot, and it's very aggressive. Okay, if you get biased at any one point, if you get biased in your mind that, oh, I need to sell, didn't you see that big sell? Oh, I finally got my pullback. Yay! Sell. You're going to get in trouble. Don't do that sell. Because yes, it's a pullback, but the story says, why did they cash out so hard at this level? So far, so good. So in terms of pattern, it's a pullback. It's giving you a better price than before, but it's stupid. You don't want to do that sell. So far, so good. I'm going to twist it up a little bit. Twist it up a little bit. Okay. Okay, so that was pattern number one. Structure number one, hard reverse. Okay. I'm going to just call it hard rev. There you go. Okay, structure number two. They cash out a little bit, and it starts doing this. How do you think the sellers are feeling? Good. They're feeling confident. They're like, okay, we made some money, but this thing can probably go more. This thing can probably go more. That's the idea. And the mindset is saying you have to let your winners run. Now, here's the difference between a normal trader and a professional trader. A professional trader, his entire energy is spent on let the damn winner run. And I don't care if I make money only 20% of the time. I need to let the winners run so I can make that outstanding winner profits. to cover all the little nonsenses throughout the year. So far, so good? So this is a sign of they feel good. They're not concerned whatsoever. Now, what makes all of you guys say they feel confident? What is it about this that makes you say? Is it the pattern that makes you say, oh yeah, it's not a big deal? It's the momentum. It's the choppiness. It's the weak upward motion, right? So I'm going to call this the slow pullback. Okay? So far, so good? Now let's try something here. I'm going to change your mindset now. And you are Mr. Buyer. You're a buyer. Because in your mind, you must always buy when the price comes down. Okay? You must always buy when the price comes down. So you think only purely as a buy. So where would you try to buy from? Is this a good spot? From support? Or do you want to buy it only once it starts leaving? You want to buy it from support, right? It's more logical. It's like, let me buy from where it has proven that it buys from. So as price comes down, and let's do the first option. So the guy who's thinking of buying, he's like, I don't know. It came down really, 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 really hard. Will he buy? Less likely. Situation number one happens. Bam. Now, as a buyer, how do you feel? Frustrated. Damn, I missed it. Or here we go. The buyers are coming back. The buyers are coming back, right? Now, the sellers are freaked out a little bit, and the buyers are now interested. They're like, oh, dude, it's becoming a buy. Did you ever notice when you have a strong down move and a strong up move, your market ends up doing this? Have you seen this pattern before? Have you ever wondered why that happens? Instead of saying, I know that pattern, have you ever wondered why that happens? It's because the reaction from this, the first reaction from that, invited the buyers. You invited the buyers to the party. You said, please come and fight with my sells. So now you know what kind of pullback is deadly. So far, so good. We're going to talk about classification number 2, the second part. Okay, I'm going to remove all this. Okay, now the second part, it stops here and he starts doing this for the buyers. How do you think the buyer feels? Weak. He might be saying, well, it is reacting. Okay, if I get a pullback, I'm going to buy it. Looks like it's going to go. He buys it. And then it goes up. How does he feel? It's so weak. It's not going anywhere. What do you think the buyer is going to do? Yeah, there you go, Trade Singer. Abort, abort, abort. In this process of him aborting, sellers are like, all right, here we go. Buyers are going to quit at this point because they tried it. They got nothing. Our turn. It's our turn as sellers to continue. What just happened in that meter, what I was telling you about in terms of sellers and buyers, okay? Initially, the sell meter was very high from here. But as the sell comes down to this area, the meter goes towards the middle. because the sellers are cashing out and the buyers are slowly trying to step in. As the meter goes higher and reaches this area, all the people who are trying to buy are now slowly coming towards the sell side saying it's not working. And the sellers are also starting to step in more and more and more as the buyers are leaving the table. This is why this area is slow. This whole area is slow. And then as the buyers quit, it tanks. The speed gets faster. Have you guys noticed after that congestionary period, the speed goes really fast? You can only do that if your meter goes towards one corner. And the only way to let the meter go to one corner is to allow that party to try first. So instead of continuing to sell through this level and saying it's going to go through no matter what, don't do that. Allow the buyers to try. Let them try. And when you can see, oh, they got nothing, then you step back in and say, here we go. Here we go. Because then you know they're going to let go of the gas pedal, and your sellers who are still very confident is going to say, oh yeah, baby, let's do it again. I haven't even got into set 1, set 2 yet. I'm trying to tell you, get you in the brains of the mentality of the buyer and the seller. How does the buyer feel? How does the seller feel? How does the buyer feel? How does the seller feel? And it's always pass the ball, pass the ball, pass the ball. It's not sell, sell, sell all the time and then buyers are attacking all the time. No. Buyers try, sellers try, sellers try, buyers try. It's one at a time, one at a time. So far, so good? Okay, so you've seen the two different reactions that tells you how you should be thinking. Okay, now, based on that logic, we will introduce the pattern. Yeah, we're gonna use that logic and we're gonna introduce the pattern. Okay, Bakang, you're saying, so we are no longer trading, we are feeling. Both. Well, you need to feel first to trade, because who's the person on the other side of the screen? It's another human being. It's another human being. So that's who you're up against. Okay, that's who you're up against. So you need to understand how a normal human being responds to certain conditions. I'll give you one example here. I'll give you one example. Ready? Here we go. I'll give you one example here. Let's do this. Let me get rid of all of this. Okay. Got rid of all of that. Okay, ready? All right. So let's say if you are that seller, and you're making money and you were thinking, maybe I should remove some money here, but you didn't do it. But you didn't remove some money and you were like, I think it's gonna go. Look how strong it is. It's gonna go. And then it does this. Can you tell me for certain that is everyone in the world who was selling is just gonna say, I'm just gonna hold it. I'm just gonna hold it. It has to go back down. Or are they gonna say, take profit, come on, take it, take it, take it, take it. They'll get panicked. They'll try to close that trade. That means sellers are now less involved. They're automatically less involved. So the answer is yes, it is a pullback. It is a pullback. But no, your sellers are not there with you anymore as they used to be. That is the stepping stone of, if you do not understand this logic, then nothing else that you try in terms of no matter what pattern you do, no matter what strategy you learn, it goes around this logic. Okay, this will help you say, this time I should do it, this time I should not do it, this time I should do it, this time I should not do it. You feeling better now? Having a little bit more confidence in reading it? Yeah? Okay. I'm going to go deeper into it now. Okay, I'm going to go deeper into it. Here we go. Okay, if it gets too complex, just let me know. Yeah, I'm going as slow as possible. I'm trying to make it as easy as possible. If it gets too complex, just let me know. Okay, here we go. Once the market goes up slowly, remember, when the first time it comes down, is the buyer thinking I should buy it? When it's slamming down against him, is the buyer thinking I should buy it? So when it goes up the first time, can you tell me if there was any buyer there? He's not there. But to that buyer, it's like, it's working. It's working. Give me a pullback. I will buy it. Oh, thank you for the pullback. I want to buy it now. That is how a set one, set two is created, because there is no buyer in the first attempt. And you can only sell to a buyer. You can't take a product, or if you have an iPad, if you sell iPads, you can't just go to some random person saying, you have to buy this, you have to buy this, you have to buy this. The guy's like, dude, I don't want to buy. I don't care. You have to buy this. You have to buy. You cannot sell to someone who's not buying. You must wait for the buyer to come. So how do you know a buyer is here? It is not a green candle that shows a buyer is here. It's the logic that makes the buyer says, okay, I'm coming now. Okay, I'm going to do this part again. I think this part caused a little bit confusion. Okay, so when the markets are coming down very, very strong, I'm going to change the colors now so you guys can see. When the market comes down very, very aggressively, the buyer will not step in front of that. He will not say, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to throw the knife in the sky and I hope I don't get hit. No one does that. No professional does that. Okay? No professional does that. So they're not entering just yet. They want to see something. They want to see something. So as it responds, however it responds, they're like, there it is. Yes, this level is good. The buys are working from here. Give me a pullback and I will buy it. That creates a set one, and then a set two begins. And how that set two performs, the performance of this is the most important piece. Now, I want you to tell me, if the performance is slow, how do you think the sellers feel? Good. How do you think the buyer feels? Worried. So can you tell me one thing? When this is going like this and you get one red candle that looks like this, what do you think the buyer is going to do? He's going to quit. What do you think the sellers are going to do? They're going to add. Very good. Very good. Simple stuff, right? Let me switch the situation around a little bit, just a little bit. For the set two, buyers have this now. Can you tell me how the buyer feels? Can you tell me how the seller feels? This has caused a dilemma in the market. This means seller is like, why is he coming up so strong? And the buyer is like, yeah, keep going, keep going. This is fantastic. Keep going. These type of movements take longer to roll over and go down in terms of time, because you have to get rid of those buyers first. That buyer is here to stay for some time. He is not in any panic mode whatsoever. Okay? You guys understood what I just said? It's not the pattern right now. The pattern is, yes, it is a set 2. That is correct. But it will take longer to digest this buyer because this buyer is feeling confident. Even though you are in a seller's territory, that buyer is confident from the bottom. Be careful to enter too quickly. Be careful to enter too quickly. Now, what do you think the buyer will do if the price comes down like this? Good. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to stop you, all of you guys, I'm going to stop you right there. If you didn't think of the buyer at all, if you didn't think of the buyer at all, and you're only thinking like a seller, would you not say, oh, that's set 1, set 2. Oh no, it's going without me. Sell, sell, sell. That's what causes the problems. That's what causes the issue because you never think of the buyer. You have to think the buyer is still very interested. Your scale is now like this. It's more on the buy side. It's more on the buy side, not the sell side. You have to wait till the buyer finishes his turn. Now the buyer goes up. Here we go. Let me clean this up so you guys can see it again. Okay, here we go. Ready? So now the buyers try and it starts doing this. How do you think the buyer feels? He's still good. Let me change it a little bit. How do you think the buyer feels? Concerned. Ah, come on. Why isn't he going? He's at least going up, right? How does he feel now? How does he feel now? Now he's going to get shocked and he's going to probably get out, right? You see how you're thinking of, I'm sure he quit now. I'm most likely sure he quit now. That thought process, that thinking of what happened to my buyer is going to allow you to say, prepare for sells, get ready. But you see how long set 2 is taking? Set 2 took a longer time than normal. It's because the buyers were way too strong. All of this is still seller's territory. Of course, I'm with you there. But you have to let the buyers finish his turn. Until that buyer doesn't get scared, you cannot sell. This is going to help you with timing to make sure you're not getting in illogically. So far, so good? Anyone up until this point lost? Okay, seems like everyone's good. All right, cool. Not to worry, it's recorded as well, so you can rewatch it a million times if you need to make sure you understand this rhythm. Because this rhythm is what's going to get you to be a better trader with any pattern. You can go onto YouTube and just take a pattern from Tom, Dick, and Harry and saying, I know how to do that better than you. Please don't say that. But at least inside you can say that, like, I know how to do it better than that guy. I don't need to watch the stupid webinar. Okay? All right. So far, so good. Now let's adjust it a little bit. Okay, let's adjust it a little bit. Here we go. Now, how many of you guys here understand the concept of trend pullback failure? You understand trend pullback failure, right? Like just in terms of theory. Okay, I'm not saying you understand it so perfectly that you're trading it and making millions from it. Just theory. Okay, so the theory part you understand. So I'm going to explain it as slowly as possible so it clicks. Okay, here we go. All right, So let's say the markets are going up, pulls back up. We have your SNR area here. And let me make it easier. Okay, you have your SNR area here, your support resistance area there. Okay. Now, for the pullback, what are we thinking? And when we see this, what are we normally thinking in our mind? What should we do? Pullback buy, right? It's as simple as that. We want to go with the flow. We want to do a pullback buy. And let's say there is a resistance above us. Okay. Maybe the market was there somewhere and then it came down. So let's say there's a resistance above us somewhere. And we're like, okay, maybe he will bounce from there and give us a nice pullback where we can then buy. So far, so good? Okay. I'm going to change the color now. And we're going to talk about this. So it does bounce from there, but it does this. How does the buyer feel? The buyer feels good. What do you think the seller is thinking right now? Will the seller sell immediately here? No. Will the seller do this one? Yeah. He's going to say, oh, after seeing the first push away, he's going to say, okay, it's working. If I can get a little pullback, I'll try it. So he gets in and it does this. Bam, very, very hard down to there. Very, very hard down to there. Now, this is still set 1, set 2. Now, what do you think the buyers are thinking about this area? About that support. They want to buy it. Do you think the buyer is going to buy that? No. He knows, wait for the sellers, let them finish, and then I'll buy it. Let the sellers finish, I will buy it. Okay? Then it does this. Will the buyer buy it? Then it does that. Will the buyer buy it? How strong do you think the seller is feeling in confidence? He's still confident, because look at the strength of the down move and look at all these pullbacks that the buys can do from their area. This is their area for the buyers. They're not doing anything. If it starts to go up slowly and then it starts to give you a candle like this, what do you think this buyer who was originally buying and holding on, what do you think he's going to do? He's going to quit. This is what we call a trend pullback failure. It was supposed to be a pullback, but the way it's set up, the way it came down, the whole momentum, the whole action is telling you something is terribly wrong. It's just not working. That's a trend pullback failure. These ones will basically get you something like this, and it will collapse because there is no buyers left to hold it. And the sellers are just going to add more money. And that's when the scales go from one side, from the middle to one side, to the sell side. So far, so good? So this is the theory, but in terms of the story mode, trying to get you to appreciate how does things move? Why do they move like that? Do you understand the logic of who's going to try from what location? Who's going to try trading from what location? Yeah? So now, in this whole process, did you see me saying, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the candle is 60 pips. Then I'm going to measure the pullback is 30 pips. Does that make a difference? It makes a difference a little bit. What makes the difference is, okay, if he went up 60 pips, I want to see how he went up. If he came down 30 pips, okay, I know it's a pullback, but I want to know how he did 30 pips. This 30 pips is the different than this 30 pips. Same movement, big difference in how you should respond. But the pip amount is exactly the same. Okay? Just like we have a market, we have a Forex trading market, but there are those who don't know what they're doing, and that from that same market, there are people who are making tons of money. It's the same market. It's just people know how to identify, what am I dealing with? Instead of, oh, here's my pattern, let's go. Oh, here's my pattern, let's go. Yeah, good. All right, so I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna take you on to my trade, and I want you to use this logic that you've learned so far, and I want you to tell me, what is it that you see that you think got me into that trade? Okay, shall we do that? Okay, let's do this. Okay, let me remove this and let me do screen sharing of my desktop. Let me get the chat back out. Okay, so I can see you guys. Okay, so far so good. You guys can see my screen. I'll make it bigger, not to worry. I'm gonna take it up to 4 hours. I'm on vacation, so I'm trading a much higher time frame. I want you to look at it this way. I want you to look at the overall flow. What's the overall flow? Okay, I'll do this, I'll take it to daily, okay? I want you to tell me from this moment onwards, what's the overall flow? Bam. Okay. The overall flow was disrupted, right? We were making higher highs, great. But a little bit, making higher highs, great. Making higher highs, great. Making higher highs, great. Making super higher highs, fully rejected. That's weird. No higher high, fully rejected, 3 times bigger than anything we've ever seen before. Could this be a turn? Could this be a turn? Or is this simply a pullback that we should be buying? So you're going to help me with answer this question. Is this a sell, or should we focus on buying? And whatever you guys decide, they can actually both be correct. Did you know that? But I want you guys to professionally answer me, what is this telling us? What is this telling us? And based on that, I'm going to give you your score as a whole, as a group. Okay, now you guys cannot see each other's messages, so I'm going to test you guys as a whole, as a group, based on everything you've understood, to put it to the test. Okay, you ready? All right, no cheating. Okay, so let me get the marker out. Okay, let's put this into white so you guys can see it. All right, so the buys were going up every step of the way. What do we know? Is it higher high? Yes. Then higher high, higher high, higher high, higher high, and then higher high. I'm going to hit the brakes right now. Bam, I'm going to hit the brakes right now, and I'm going to take you one step back. Up until all these points that we're making higher high, what do you think the buyers are thinking? Good. I want you to stay in the mind of the buyer right now. They're saying, no problem. Keep going. Keep going. Raju is with you. Keep going. The buys are working. Any pullback, keep buying. Now, would you say this is support equals resistance? Would you say buyers are going to try again to make the next higher high? They try, They try, they try, they try, they try, they try, they try. How do you think the buyer feels? He's frustrated. What happens when a candle this big and this big starts to come against them? What do you think is going to happen to all these buyers? Cool. So far, I haven't seen a wrong answer yet. What, you know, they're going to say, screw this, man. I don't want this buy anymore. It's not working. But where can it work from? Where can it work from? This is a buyer area, right? Because last time he was able to make a higher high. Does he stop there? It's like, wow, this is crazy. This is a support. Last time he was able to make a little bit of a higher high. Does he stop there? No. We have a huge support equals resistance here. Does he stop there? Now, I want you to tell me, based on everything you've learned so far, there's a level right here where the buyers can try from. Do you think the buyer is going to buy in the face of all these red candles coming at him? No. So what happens at this point? So there's sellers in here, and this is a buyer's area. What do you think the sellers are going to do once it gets to the buyer's area? Think as a seller right now. They're going to cash out, take a little bit of profit. Are they going to remove 100%? Why are they not removing 100%? Think about it. Why not 100%? Because it's the first time it's come down. It's fresh. It's brand new. The world has never seen this before. Right? So they want to be like, dude, this is just starting. I want to be part of this. A whole new world. No, just kidding. It's like, so they want to be part of this, right? So they're saying, okay, what we'll do is we will respect this area and remove a little bit of profit. How does it bounce from this area? It bounces a little bit strong, doesn't it? How do you think the sellers feel right now? It's like, oh no, that's not good. That's not good. How do you think the buyers are thinking? They were like, I don't know if I should buy it from here. How do you think they feel now? The buyers are like, ah, yeah, baby, it's coming back. Whatever this is, it's coming back. They start to feel confidence again. They're like, I've made so much money in the past, looks like it's coming again. Give me a pullback and I'll buy it. The pullback starts to come in and they buy. How do they feel when the buy performs from that moment? He goes and he makes a new high in the sky. Good? Confident? How do you think the sellers feel? Now, this buy that's going up, what do you think he's afraid of? What do you think that buy is afraid of? Support and resistance. This is a seller's area. That is their territory. So the buyer is going to think, let's take some profit there. Let's take some profit there. Let's see what the sellers can do. If the sellers, if they suck, we will buy more. If the sellers can't do anything, then obviously it's a buy because the buys are working. However, the sell instantly smashes it back down as if it never made a higher high. So far, so good. Let's take a look at that smash down a little bit more in detail, shall we? I'm going to take you down to the 4-hour chart. Let's take a look at that smash down, which is right there. Where's my mouse? And we're going to look at it onto the 4 hours. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Now, as the seller starts smashing down right there after making a new high, what do you think the seller who's looking at it from that spot, okay, wherever that spot was, the SNR, the buyer's worried and the seller is looking at it as it smashes down like that? Is this not an area of support equals resistance? Let's see what the buyer can do. Does he do much? It comes down hot against him. Here's another support equals resistance. It's still buyer's area, right? All this is buyer's area because the buyer didn't enter here. He entered in this wave. So it's still his area. He's like, come on, you stupid deep pullback. Come on, keep going. Let's go, let's go. What happened to that buyer? How do you think he feels when that first red candle comes in like that? Screw this, I'm done. It's not going anywhere. And at this moment is when the sellers are gonna say, let's do this. The buyers are out of the way. The road is clear, let's do this. We were worried, but it's been proved that they can't do anything. That they can't do anything. So far, so good? There's that trade. Okay, on the top, I have my 4-hour chart. Oh, sorry. Whoa, okay, sorry. Sensitive mouse, sorry. I have the 4-hour chart on top, 1-hour chart on bottom. I sold right around that area once the buyer had proved that he can't do anything. I was 1 candle a little too late. Okay, that's my fault. I was 1 candle a little too late, but then I sold it right there. And I took it all the way down to here and where I close it. This trade netted me $6,855. It's a trade today. Okay, it's a trade today. Okay. Now, can you tell me, in everything that I've talked about today, was there anything that was too complex that you say, you know what, trading is a game for the larger players, I will never understand this? Or do you feel, I can do this? I can do this. It's actually not that hard. I just got to get my mind straight to understand how to look at this in different ways. I can do this. Right? So in this whole time, did you see me actually talk much about set 1, set 2? No. But was there a set 1, set 2? Yes. Was there a trend pullback failure? Yes. All the patterns you've been learning, they're there, but now with this story to help you fine tune it, you can be like, got it. I got the oil in my engine that I needed. Okay? This will take you to your next step, to stage 2, into stage 3, into stage 4, as you go further and further. Okay? So pop quiz really quick. Is it as easy as just looking at a pattern or looking at some indicator? No, got to do a little bit more work, right? Now that little bit more work, is it worth it? Absolutely, absolutely. Like, don't underestimate yourself. You can do this. It's not so difficult. You just need to look at it in the right way. Okay? So here we go. So we're back into this area. Can you tell me why in the world, oh, I closed the chat, sorry. Can you tell me why in the world did I exit where I did? Ah, that's okay. So you see, I got to your question before you asked. Okay, so Mr. Abdullah is asking just a question. Why did you exit there? Like, just in time. Perfect question. Okay, so why did I exit there? SNR. Why that SNR? Because I know that this area is going to be where the buyers are going to try. And with the sellers coming full speed, they're going to take some profit. It's not like he was going slow. He's coming full speed. So they're going to take some profit. It's going to react a little bit and so on and so forth. Yeah. So I fully got out. Now, can this go down lower? It can. It can. But I'm not interested in that. I want to know where can I make money? And then I'm on vacation on top of that. I can't watch it all day long also. So I came here to meditate and stuff. So I can't be looking at my chart all the time. Now, this is a higher time frame, the daily, the 4 hours, and all that stuff, right? Okay, John, you're asking. I'm currently in the Maldives at a resort called Joali. Okay. Gary, you're saying I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but I'm getting there. It takes me a bit more than most. I can do this. Good. You know what, Gary? I'm like that too. I'm like that too. In school, I was a sharp kid, but I just couldn't apply my mind to things if I wasn't interested. I used to really hate school. Like, I really hated school. And the weird dilemma is now I'm a teacher. Like, how weird is that? Like, it's like, I used to hate school, and now here I am as a teacher. It's like karma or something, you know? It's like, but it's the reason why I hated it is because no one was able to teach me in a way I would enjoy. Everyone just taught, okay, the textbook says this, you must learn this. Textbook says that, you must learn. Ah, man, I hated that. I couldn't wait to get out of school. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's look at some of these questions that we have. So Rohit is saying, will there be a scenario where the market dynamics will change as time passes and our current rules of analysis won't be valid? The reason why, Rohit, I was showing it to you in this way and I didn't mention any patterns, because a pattern can fail. You see, what if I say a pattern for a set 1 and a set 2 is supposed to look exactly like this? But this one doesn't look exactly like that. The pattern has slightly changed. What do we do then? Like, oh, this is not the pattern Naveen showed me. I don't know what to do. Maybe I don't trade this. You see, I'm trying not to get you guys so stuck on patterns, but rather, do you know what is happening? If you know what is happening, any new pattern, a bat pattern, cat pattern, dinosaur pattern, whatever the patterns they make in today's world, you can look at it and be like, okay, that's pretty cool. I can do that. Or, that's so bad that it's so bad. I don't even want to comment on the guy's YouTube videos. Like, it's so bad, dude. Stop teaching. You know, it's so bad. Okay, let's take a look at the next question. I noticed you entered after the price went under the MAs and the MAs crossed. Did that influence your decision? No, the MAs helped me to understand a overall flow. I look at it as is because people trade with MAs as well, right? So if I look at MAs as that, I look at them as we have support equals resistance, which is the normal candlesticks, right? Which is, there's a cluster, so that must be resistance for here, and earlier it was support. That's the traditional support resistance, but people also use MAs as dynamic support and resistance, as it's a moving support and resistance with you. Okay, so if you're curious of the MAs I have 10, 20, I'm just using round numbers. There is no logic behind why I chose those numbers. There's nothing behind it because I don't use them. But here are those things. I have 10, 20, 50, and 200. But I'm going to remind you again, I do not base any decision on the MAs itself. Because there will be times I will be in a trade here and the MAs are pointing up. That's okay. That's okay. Let people buy. I'm selling. Okay, you gotta know what you're doing so you have the added edge to be on top of the market. Okay, So John, you're saying that is ATR added on the volume? Yeah, this is ATR down here. So those of you who do not know ATR, that is called average true range. Basically, this number that you see, 252, it's basically 25.2. It's telling you in the last 14 candles on this time frame, whatever the time frame is, the last 14 candles, the average movement is 25.2 pips. Okay, so when I have a trade running for 70 pips, I'm gonna take some money out because that's not normal. That's not normal. Does that make sense? All right. Now, those of you guys who haven't come to the elite community, you have your trials. Get in there. Get in there. We have a lot more fun in there. We got a lot more educational series and stuff like that in there. Although I think the educational series are not going to be available to you as a trial member, but you can attend the conference rooms. You can see how I pick my trades with the team on a weekly basis as well. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun in the elite community. So, you know, don't underestimate it. You have your trial. It's 30 days for free. Like, you don't have to worry about it. Just if you're eligible, apply, get in there. Again, Armo assisted you on where to find it. I think it's the last video on stage 2. And I think it's called The Money is in the Details. In that video is where you have where you can apply for it. But if you need any assistance, you can always email us at info@urbanforex.com and we'll help you out there as well. Okay, so let's look at some more questions. Will this be recorded? I just lost the recording actually. No, I'm just kidding. It's recorded. Everything will be there for you. Don't worry. Okay, Ion Simeon, you're saying when can we expect the remaining 4 ITP weeks? Everything is released, you know, week after week. Everything's released week after week. Sachin Gupta, you're saying any hack to stop entering early in step 2? When you say step 2, you mean set 2? Is that what you mean? Set 2. Okay. Okay. So anything that we can do to stop entering in set 2. Okay. So here we go. Since all of you guys are still here, I see no one has left the room yet. Shall we do this? Make this a quick quiz example for all of you guys to know how should we know to not enter early? Okay. Let's do it. Let's do it real quick. Okay. I don't do these in public webinars, but for you guys, we can do this. I'm going to take it back to the screen. Okay. Back to the screen. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. Actually, let me share the whiteboard. Okay, I'm going to walk you through 3 different scenarios and you're going to tell me exactly when and why and how. Okay, here we go. I'm going to change the color to black. Circle, yes, no. Excellent, circle is there. Perfect. So here we go. Markets come down. There's a range. Market starts to come down slowly, slowly. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Okay. Now, how do you think the sellers feel? The professional who got in on top. How do you think he feels? Okay, he feels okay. When he starts to get a pullback, how do you think the seller feels? Even though the pullback is slow, that's not good because the movement on the way he came down is crappy. He's already removing some money, removing some money, removing some money, removing some money. That's why all those bounces. That's why all those bounces. So when you get a pullback, it's like you're reducing your chances of, is he still around? Maybe, maybe, but it's less likely. Okay, so far so good? Okay, here we go. Here we go, here we go. Now, bam, 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 bam. Okay, so here's your quiz. Goes down slowly. Bam. Oh, what is that? Okay, cool. From this moment, okay, I want you to tell me seller's feeling, buyer's feeling. I want you to type both of them out. What's the seller feeling? What's the buyer feeling? Seller's okay. And buyers, what about that? Ah, good. Kwan Le, very good. Sellers are okay and buyers are thinking of buying. Good, good, because buyers, this might have been an area where the buyers are like, I don't know, but once he sees that, he's gonna be like, okay, 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 looks like it's working. Okay, all right. It's the most cross-eyed buyer ever. Okay, anyways, so he's thinking, okay, I will buy this. Okay, so as he starts to buy this, I want you guys to now think of this. What's gonna happen? Should we sell? Should we sell? Should we sell? Okay, I see 2 wrong answers. I saw 3 wrong answers. Okay, so I saw 4 yeses. 4 yeses, majority of you guys are correct. The answer is no. You have to scare him. You have to scare that buyer. Freak him out. Freak him out. Any slow movement is never gonna freak him out. Like, you know how maybe I shouldn't use this example. It's a horrible example. It's like, you know, when you have like those evil kids in school and then the teacher is just so upset one day, she just picks up that kid and starts shaking him. Freak him out. like, like, that's what you want to see. You want to see someone freaking them out. Like, okay, so basically, please don't do that to the kids. But basically what I'm saying is when it's going up slowly, he's feeling okay, but frustrated. When he's coming down slowly, he still has hope. He still has hope. So as he goes up, should I sell now? Should I sell now? Should I sell now? Okay, I threw in a curveball for you guys. I wanted to see how you guys respond to this. Yeah, so I see one of you guys saying, wow, what is that? I'm not drawing a Thai temple. What I'm trying to show you here is, are you fully focused on the sells, or did you actually look at it as the buyers are coming in hot? I think my seller's probably quitting. That's why it's going up faster and faster. What you've done is you've invited the buyers. The buyers have now come in. You have to think twice of saying, should I sell this now? Should I sell this now? Because this now is a new high. It's a higher high. That means buyers are ultra confident. They're saying, we got this. Not to mention, that's a 100% pullback. You cannot sell that. Although I took you right up to the support resistance just to play with you guys a little bit. Don't sell that. Okay, next example. Here we go. Really quick, under 5 minutes so we can end this. Here we go. All right. Sell it now. How do the sellers feel? Are the sellers freaking out? No, they're not freaking out. They're like, all right, let's see what he's got, right? You have to think like that. The sellers are in a battle where they're like, let's see what he's got. Let's see what he can do. Sell it now? Why not? Good. Support resistance. Sell it now? Okay, I see no's, that's good. I see some yeses, I see almost, good. Sell it now? If it helps, just think, I need to shake that kid. Like, if it helps, just think of that. Sell it now? How about now? There you go. There you go. Okay. Little curveball, small curveball. Here we go. Small curveball. Okay, sell it now. Okay, no, it's too low. Come on. He hasn't shaken anybody out, right? How about now? Sell him now. Here's the thing you have to do. It's on. The sell is on, but the price is too low. When it starts moving, don't just hit it. Be careful in case it's reaching this area. Let it get you something like this. So you can be like, okay, here we go, got it. Don't sell it down here. So in case it moves fast, like be very calm. If you have to meditate and stuff, be very, very calm. Don't jump. Like be calm. It's just telling you, all right, okay, so it's on. Now give me a good price. It's on. Now give me a good price. Be very calm in the whole thing. Okay, otherwise you'll end up selling at support, and then who knows, the buyers actually might kick in, and then you're like, oh crap. Cool. All right, so hopefully that answers the questions. I hope there was good examples today, and I hope everything you've learned today goes deep with you, and you're like, all right, I can do this. It's actually not that hard. It's actually not that hard. You know, our mantra, right? It's not hard. It's easy. It's easy. Cool. All right, so I'll see you guys into the Elite, and also tomorrow I will see you guys at Raju's premiere. Okay, tomorrow again, it's at 8 a.m. New York City time, just like how this webinar started today. Tomorrow at that time. Yeah? Cool, guys. Thanks a lot for coming. That's all the time we have for today. Until next time. Cheers, guys. Bye for now.